Yes, the big news for me today is Elon Musk has retweeted a tweet that I put out. It's had 7.9 million views up to now. The bit you can see, I think I put it on a screenshot on the comments section, isn't all the tweet. It gets more graphic about what happens to these girls, these young girls in the grooming gang situation. So that's good news because that gets the message out there. And, people are asking for inquiries. They're asking for further investigations. The police's hands were tied because of a directive from the Labour government at the time, which was headed by Gordon Brown, it was back then, who said that these girls have made a lifestyle choice and not to have any further investigations. And we know that's a true statement because the actual barrister, a Pakistani barrister who was handling some of the victims at the time, actually tweeted about it in 2017 and said the police were directed to basically stand down and not investigate any further. How on earth can you police that? So I think rather than another expensive inquiry leading to nowhere, why don't we just have the original inquiry opened up with all the bits that were redacted, unredacted, and then we can see why Stuella Braverman was getting so frustrated at the time when she wanted to read through the notes. That would be a far cheaper idea for the government. Anyway, it's a bit of a plus point. I could always go to my grave happy now, kind of my epitaph sorted. Elon Musk retweeted a tweet that I tweeted on his tweet on an earlier tweet. Sorted. In other news, if you're not on Twitter and you haven't seen the nuclear fallout between the triage of Tommy, Nigel Farage and Elon Musk has offered support financially as well to Reform Party, which is good news. And then obviously the counter narrative comes out on social media. Well, that's a foreigner, interfering in British politics. But as you know, we've had that for donkey's years with the EU and Soros's Open Society. Couldn't get more foreign than that. And so not only that, simultaneously, Elon Musk has shown support for Tommy Robinson and the plight of where he is now and why he's where he is now, and he's called him a political prisoner. Nigel Farage has dismissed Tommy on several news broadcasts. Personally, I think he could have handled it better, but he didn't. And he said, no, he's a criminal, he's in jail. He's took a bit of a, cut and dried attitude towards it. So, and they said, well, I think it was Nana Akura on GB News who said, well, Elon Musk doesn't agree with you. And Nigel, typical bloke, but foolish in my view, said, oh, well, don't worry, when I go to the inauguration, which is President Trump, he'll be putting Elon straight. Anyway, Elon's took the hump at that. Blokes. And he's tweeted, I know why Tommy Robinson's in jail. It's for contempt, FFS, which is fuck's sake. And then he said Nigel Farage should stand to one side as he's not right to lead reform. To be fair, Nigel retweeted it and said, what a surprise. So now personally, I think he's just the right person to lead reform at this moment. And Nigel's even said it himself, it might not always be him. But I think right now, there's no other choice because what you need a figurehead, don't you? You need a figurehead that people recognise, like Ronald McDonald, like Colonel Sanders. You know the brand as soon as you see the figurehead. Somebody said to me, why don't you get your videos watermarked? I said, why? There's nobody else in them, there's only me. All you need to do is seat glasses, you know what's coming, yak, yak, yak. So Nigel Farage, my supermarket analogy, stand outside a supermarket, mention some names, would the public know them? Yes, they'd know Nigel Farage. Would they know Rupert Lowe at this stage? He's knocking it out the park, he's fantastic, but would they know him? No, they wouldn't, just like I didn't know him before he came to office. Now, the trouble is that to harvest a crowd, that sounds very management speak, you need someone that they're going to recognise. And what I believe Nigel Farage is trying to do is harvest the people that are now fed up with the Labour Party. Now, they don't want necessarily to be associated with anything to do with someone like Tommy Robinson. And I do believe that Tommy Robinson, in any way, shape or form, being connected to reform would be a massive distraction. because he's got a big enough crowd in his own right. And therefore people will be interested in what he's doing rather than what the party's doing. Not like he's ever asked to join anyway. I don't think he has. He sees the sense in voting for him. I see the sense in voting for him because there's no other bus to jump on, is there? But you do need that public face to go and get a bigger crowd. There's a lot of people do not follow politics on social media. Millions. Nigel needs those. He needs that. He needs a Brexit Mark II. He needs a record turnout. I think he'll get it because the man that's in currently is just about pissing everybody off. So obviously this tiff has happened. I don't think it will affect reform too much. The reason I say that is, as I say, he's harvesting a crowd that don't follow politics on social media. So I have relatives who want, I mean, you know, my mother-in-law doesn't even know Elon Musk has any rockets. She's not going to know anything about Elon Musk in politics. She won't care whether he said something about Nigel Farage. People aren't bothered with intricacies like that. I said, well, they won't flatten the curve with, you know, this momentum with reform. It's even growing in spite of the fact that Richard Tice still hasn't quite got the handle or the hang of how to not upset people by calling them that lot. And he come out the other day, he was on with that Camilla Tominey she called, on GB News. And she said, well, you got yourself in hot water last time on my show with your comment that lot. Yes, I did, but I'm not bothered about social media. I don't care what's said about me on social media. While simultaneously, his boss, Nigel Farage, is showing off about social media and how many followers he's got. Make your bloody minds up. 5.2 million he's got. And, you know, you can't on the one hand say you're not taking any notice of social media, and then on the other hand, the mainstay of your party is showing you how valuable it is. Another clanger. You have to have him like, you know, that kid, you know, relative you have with who we've got to invite our Jimmy, even though you know Jimmy will wreck it if it's a bit of a do, but you've got to invite him. I feel like that about Richard at times. But we're still on track. There's no damage been done. It's like you bumping your car on a car park and you get out and there's not a mark on bump. You think, oh, thank God, it's one of them. Nigel will do all right anyway because he's got Nick Candy, he's got other people coming forward with money. Some that used to give it to Tories as well. That's going down like a lead balloon. So I won't worry too much about what's going on Twitter. It's just, you know, we have to remember that this is a hub to talk about things. There's a lot of people out there that have completely different lives away from social media and don't take any notice of what's going on. But it's still good news that I got retweeted by Elon Musk. No doubt I'll have a bloody police van at my door. I hope you managed to catch the video I put out of Ben Habib on GB News explaining the reality of where Tommy sits, why he sits where he sits. And that is because the Attorney General is a political appointment. The Attorney General is placed there. One of their party members, in this instance it's a Lord from the House of Lords, a Labour Lord, and he's appointed by the Labour Party. So it's a political appointment. And they're in charge of how they handle contempt of court because it's a civil crime. There's no victim. Nobody's off work sick. Nobody's been damaged. No property's been damaged. And no one's ill. No one's suffering distress. It's a victimless crime. So realistically, most people would be assuming, me included, that surely for a victimless crime, you shouldn't have the perpetrator of such sat in a cell for 18 months in solitary confinement. They say that's for his own safety, but nevertheless, it's not very good, is it? When you think the man that was arrested for the Southport attacks, he's having a better time in jail, he's on a wing, he's got a job, that gives you focus while you're in jail, you know. Wheeling your time away 23 hours a day in a cell is no picnic, is it? Other people for contempt have had fines, have been under house arrest, have been tagged, and some in open prisons. So it looks like Tommy Robinson's taking the brunt again, which is why Elon sees him in a completely different light to Nigel Farage. I don't mean Nigel Farage should welcome him with open arms. I think it would be a mistake for reform because they're trying to polish their act up and become a centrist party. So don't be afraid of being called a centrist, because the thing is, that's what we are anyway. It's only the hardcore left that want us to be known as far right, that it's a slur. It's not an actual position, because what I'm looking for out of politics is less tax, less fines, the freedom to live my own life, no 15-minute cities. I don't want to think that I'm going to have a digital ID to get in a supermarket. I don't want a normal life. I don't want to live like China. So I think that we've a long way to go, but the pushback is great. And it's absolutely no point having a general election now, because Reform aren't ready. They're really busy behind the scenes getting branches ready. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people, volunteers, helping to get this machinery running. And whilst I think Elon Musk is great, I don't think he particularly understands the state of British politics. Nigel isn't Donald Trump. Donald Trump sat there waiting to be inaugurated to run America. He's a president. He's a past president. He's a billionaire. He's got his own golf clubs. He's in a completely different position to Nigel Farage, who is basically has come from political commentating now and has got a seat in the House. He's simply a backbencher, outspoken, popular, vocal, gets invited on mainstream TV. That in itself has a value, but he's not as powerful as anywhere near as Donald Trump. And that time hopefully will come with number 10, which is the aim of the party, I'm sure. So the fight is still on. And everybody's where they should be. You know, someone once said to me, what you walk away from comes towards you. I used to have him down as a bit of a guru. He was really an elderly man who I knew through business. And he were always calm about everything. And he said, what you walk away from, June, comes towards you. And it's happened a time or two now with business and with my personal life. Thank God it weren't a couple of my ex-husbands. One died and one wouldn't. 2 disastrous marriages, eh? I'm joking. Seriously, sometimes you have to look back to see that actually everything was clocking in right together. We need more harm from Starmer the harmer, because every time he does something, more people leave him. He's only got support in NHS and civil service. Nobody else is bothering with him, because he's just about crushed everyone. So he needs to be in that position a bit longer, and what we need is during that time Reform to get stronger and stronger, despite what Elon thinks about Nigel. It's hardly fair when he's put so much time into this, and I think we're doing okay. And I think that we'll go from strength to strength. So we move on, and it's good to see the reaction on the threads on my videos. I always look. I keep forgetting. I've not said it once actually. I'm supposed to say, YouTube tells me anyway, in some instructions I get that I can't bloody fathom. Don't forget to ask people to subscribe, which is free, and it's press the button, so you're like following the page rather than just coming across me like some mad aunt that's turned up at a wedding. If you can do that, that'd be great, because it means my followers go up and I'm more important to YouTube, because YouTube, they put advertising on beginning and end of my broadcasts. So if they can earn some money out of me, they'll look after me a bit better. And I don't mind taking a bit myself off Google. Google's got plenty. And some good news. I've got lots of messages from people who have been going around. How nice is this? This is the British spirit, isn't it? Going around to their elderly neighbours, making sure they're all right, because it's been a cold snap, and contributing towards their energy bills. How lovely is that? So one man, he got some money for Christmas. He got £300 for Christmas, and he's been to 10 pensioners and given them £30 each. Have I got my maths right? Towards the heating for this cold snap. Another woman has opened a house up. She's at home all day. She's got a 4-bedroomed house with a large lounge, from what she says. So what she's done, she's organised a weekly lunch club for about 8 to 10 pensioners. Can come round once a week to a house for a lunch and sit about reading papers, or whatever, because she's at home, she's cooking, kids are coming in, she's got heating on, and she's letting them join in that, so at least they've got somewhere to go. But I mean, it's not bloody wartime, is it? We shouldn't be living like that when we're sending billions overseas. It's just morally wrong. It's corrupt. I see it as corrupt. Can't remember last time my landline rang and it were a real person. It's always somebody with a right duff accent. I can't tell what they're saying, trying to sell me something, asking if the homeowner's in. And I make all sorts of lies up about what I am. No, I was just cleaning the windows. Actually, I told one of them I were a burglar once. She just carried on doing its selling job. Yeah, no language communication problems at all. She said, "Are you the homeowner?" And I went, "Yes, well, I'm not the owner, actually. I'm just going to end up owning some of the stuff. I'm robbing it as we speak." Okay, she went on about some bloody double glazing. So, well, I've lost my thread now. Seeing as how I've forgot my thread, I'm going to move on to something else that just tickled me. Starbucks had a speech today, and he's done it about the NHS, how he's going, oops, I'm knocking myself down here, how he's going to change the NHS. What I like is they're all stood there with lanyards on. I didn't know that word before lockdown. They're all stood there with lanyards on and scrubs. They're all there, NHS. They're happy, aren't they? Because they're getting like rises every 20 minutes. Poor sods. And he's in front, you know, Starmer, doing the old Tony Blair trick. Hey, did you think we hadn't remembered? Stood there, shirt and tie, sleeves rolled up. I mean, they couldn't be rolled up more perfectly. Cuffs on them, like somebody must have ironed them into place. The right neat, like, because you've got to roll your sleeves up to get the job done, haven't you? We know what you're up to. So there he is with sleeves rolled up, you know, to podium. And so Chopper from GB News doorsteps him kind of thing about grooming gangs and his attitude. I mean, I didn't even bother listening. I was yawning with answers. My message box this morning's on fire because Elon Musk has retweeted. Funny, isn't it? Because Elon Musk, I mean, I don't know him. He's only retweeted my tweet. It's not like we're mates. He hasn't picked me up in a helicopter roll. But don't get me wrong, I'm eternally grateful. 7 million views on a short worded tweet about a topic that's not been touched is not to be sniffed at. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring you up to date with what's been going on with the lovers' tiff. It'll all sort itself out. It's nothing to worry about. The reform are completely on track. Tommy Robinson's getting plenty of publicity. Elon Musk in our corner. I don't altogether trust him, I must admit. You know, you never know what these buggers have got lined up. If you listen to David Icke, oh my God, we're all going to be wired up to our own irons and all sorts of other appliances. You won't need to do anything, just like plug 3 fingers into the wall and you'll be like, artificially inseminated. No, that's wrong, isn't it? That's when you go and that's when they do it for bulls. Artificial intelligence, that's what I'm looking for. I don't think there's much. The only artificial intelligence I can see is the bloody government.